What's up you guys, it's Ben and welcome back to my channel where we talk about everything there is linked to selling on Amazon. So, when it comes to selling on Amazon, what is one of the biggest appeals that all of the courses, mentorships, and just Amazon in general will tell you? And that is that it gives you the ability to leave your 9 to 5, basically your terrible boss, your horrible colleagues, the fact that you can't actually move up on the corporate ladder, and gives you the opportunity to work for yourself, be your own boss, be in charge of your financial freedom, and make all the decisions. Well, I personally have been fortunate enough now to actually do both of these things. I've actually been working at 9 to 5 for about 7 years as a recruiter in the city of London, and I know very well what it's like to have a 9 to 5 job, or more like 8 to 6 job for anybody that's working in London. And I've also been fortunate enough to actually been working for myself on my Amazon FBA business ever since I got fired back in 2020 from my last job. I decided to take the plunge and actually go onto Amazon full time. Now, I actually hate using the word fortunate because it implies that I actually been lucky or I've been given it. Matter of fact, I should use the word I've worked my ass off with my girlfriend to actually leave my 9 to 5 and go full time. But the good thing about this is I actually been on both sides and I actually know the truth, the reality, the harsh reality of what it's like going from a 9 to 5 to working for yourself full time. And the truth is, guys, it's very, very different to what most people will tell you. Most people will say 9 to 5 being bad and working for yourself being good. But the truth is, guys, there are pros and cons to having a 9 to 5 and pros and cons to working for yourself. And that is exactly the thing that I want to address in this video. And I believe by the end of this video, if you really watch till the very end and it gets you to think, you will either be two things. One, very motivated to continue pushing on your Amazon FBA journey and really push forward to basically get you to work by yourself, get to be your own boss effectively, or it may actually get you to question whether or not Amazon FBA is right for you. And whichever outcome it happens effectively is perfectly fine. I just hope I give enough information for you to make that decision so you know where exactly you should be concentrating your efforts in going forward. And with that being said, guys, let's forget about all the affiliate links. Let's forget all about the adverts effectively. You already know about my mentorships and my courses, and let's get straight to the video. Right, guys, so first things first, let's talk about the big elephant in the room, and that is being your own boss. When you're working on a 9 to 5, you effectively have a team leader, a manager, a director, or a CEO that effectively manages you and tells you what to do in most cases. Whilst if you're working by yourself, you are the boss. You are the one that's making all of the decisions, and therefore you don't have to be told on what to do whatsoever. And that is exactly the point, guys. When it comes to running your own Amazon FBA business, all of the decision making lies with you. All of the responsibility lies with you. And therefore, that means that if your Amazon FBA business fails, if you don't make any money, if you potentially go into debt or make bad decisions, you cannot blame on anybody else. You cannot blame it on your boss. You cannot blame it on your colleagues or anything like that. It is your fault. And therefore, if your business fails, it is you to blame. It is something that you haven't done correctly because other people were able to make it a success. And the truth is, for some people, they accept it. It's absolutely fine with them because they have all of the control in their own hands and they're comfortable with it. Whilst other people are not too comfortable with it because they prefer being told what to do, which is absolutely fine. Some people can make the decisions, stick with their decisions, and effectively whether it works out, whether it doesn't, whilst other people are much less risk averse effectively and want to be told what to do. For example, in my business at the moment, I'm the one that effectively guides the business and takes it the direction that I want it to go. However, my girlfriend, she is the one that actually takes what I tell her what to do effectively and does it to the best of her ability. And I can't take any of the credit away from her. The reason why we were able to grow our business into 6 figures and now into 7-figure business on Amazon FBA is mostly because of how well she does tasks that we are giving it to her. It's because of how well she executes each and every single task in front of her is the reason why we have been able to not only do well on Amazon, but also why we're able to upload 3 videos on YouTube each and every single week, which is why we're now going into property, stocks and shares and various other things. So just because you are unable to make decisions by yourself There's no shame in that whatsoever. Some people can and some people can't. However, the crucial reality is, guys, is that if you're one of those people that can't really make decisions, if you don't know what to do and you're not really capable of figuring it all out by yourself, then maybe leaving your 9 to 5 would not be the best idea. Next up, travel. When it comes to working in 9 to 5, effectively all of us have to get up at 7, 6 o'clock, get on a smelly train, effectively get squashed like our sardine, and therefore go to work to make it for 8:30, 9 o'clock. That is one of the biggest reasons why I wanted to leave my 9 to 5 and effectively work on my own business, set my own working hours and so on. And that is precisely what happened. When I actually left my job, I was no longer needing to travel. I was no longer needing to wake up early. And therefore I thought instead of me traveling, I get to sleep in a little bit and therefore start work at 9 o'clock. At the end of the day, guess what? I am my own boss. I set my own working hours and so on. The reality is, guys, discipline is extremely important when you are working on yourself, when you're working on your own Amazon FBA business. And it's really, really easy because there is nobody to tell you off for you to start slipping, for you to start waking up not at 8:30, but at 9, maybe 9:30, maybe 10 o'clock, 10:30, 11 o'clock. It can get really bad very quickly because there is nobody to tell you off effectively. There is nobody that you are a little bit worried as to what they're going to say. And that is exactly what happened to me, guys. When I got fired and I realized that now I am being my own boss and I can set my own working hours, I started waking up a lot later than I usually would. And that really reduced my productivity. And it reduced my productivity to the point so much that I was actually getting more done on Amazon whilst I was still at my 9 to 5, as opposed to now that I'm working on Amazon full time. And it took me really a hard look at myself in the mirror really to decide whether or not I want to continue doing this, because if I do, then the Amazon FBA business is not going to go very far very quickly. And this is why I had to set certain rules in place and start waking up much earlier, setting up diaries, setting up everything basically to keep myself disciplined in order to continue working on the Amazon FBA business and making sure it's a success in the long term. So just because you get the benefit of not necessarily needing to travel anymore doesn't mean that you're going to start waking up at whenever you want and finishing work whenever you want, because if that happens, then your business is not going to go very far very soon. Next up, guys, colleagues. Okay, when it comes to working in 9 to 5, in most cases you're going to have colleagues. Some colleagues you're going to like, some colleagues you're not going to like, and that is a difference between you and working on yourself and by yourself on your own full-time Amazon FBA business, because the truth is you're not going to have any colleagues whatsoever. Now, if you hate your colleagues, then maybe working a full-time on Amazon is great. But if you like your colleagues and you like to have that social interaction, you know, speaking to the same people each and every single day, see how the day was and so on, and having that social aspect, then you're going to feel very, very lonely when it comes to working for yourself on Amazon FBA. And also another thing is that when you're working in 9 to 5, usually you're going to have a Christmas party, you're going to have nights out, you may potentially have a Halloween party or whatever. Well, on Amazon, none of that happens, okay? Nobody's there to celebrate anything with you, and majority of the time, the people that you're going to be speaking to the most is actually going to be your Chinese suppliers. So if you are one of those people that like to be sociable with your work colleagues, if you like to go outside after work for a drink or two, which is absolutely fine, then Amazon FBA may not be the best business for you, because the reality is that once you leave your 9 to 5 and you start working full time, you're not going to have those colleagues there anymore, because nobody is there with you. You are all by yourself working on your financial freedom in the future. So the next big appeal about Amazon FBA, of course, is the ability to spend more time with your friends and family. And in theory, it sounds perfect. Instead of, only getting to see them at the end of each and every single day or on the weekends, you now get to spend much more time with them. You get to wake up next to them, you get to have breakfast with them, and so on and so forth. However, guys, the reality is a little bit different, at least in my experience. The first day, it sounds great. The first week, it also may be great. However, after a while, once a month passes, a month and a half, 2 months passes, it is very easily to start getting into each other's spaces. It's very easily to start getting into arguments much more frequently, because you're in each other's space all the time. Be very, very careful of not setting these sorts of boundaries and being in each other's faces all the time. The truth is, guys, in the very beginning, it's perfect. It's absolutely fine. However, in most cases, the reason why we do so well with our girlfriends, boyfriends, partners, husbands, wives, whatever, is because we don't get to see them each and every single day. And that's precisely what my dad said. My dad said he loves his mum so much, my mum so much, because he doesn't get to see her for 10 hours each and every single day. So the ability to spend a lot of times with your friends and family and your kids potentially may sound great in the very beginning. However, the reality is that once you do start to experience it, you may want to put something in place to actually distance yourself from them, at least for a few hours each and every single day. Just from my own experience, we now each and every single day, one of us goes to a coffee shop or potentially works from our parents' home, whatever, just to have that distance a little bit, so we're not in each other's spaces. So when we do get back together, we have a lot of things to talk about. We don't argue, and it works much, much better as opposed to working together in the same place all the time. Next up, excitement. What I mean by that is when it comes to working 9 to 5, in most cases, majority of us, especially if you're watching this video, we're not too passionate about what we're working on, okay? We may be working a job we don't really like, with people we don't really like, and a job that doesn't actually give us that much fulfillment and that much interest. Well, the truth is, guys, when it comes to working on Amazon full time, I don't know about you, but not many of us are actually very passionate about selling on Amazon as well. So not many things change on that front. The truth is, actually, you get quite bored very, very quickly. In the very beginning, it's really exciting when you found your first product, when you get your first sale, when you reorder potentially or start speaking to suppliers about a new product. However, guys, think about your excitement level in my situation. What would your excitement be once you have ordered 10 new products, 15 new products? You're now selling 50 products, and you have to go through the same cycle each and every single time of speaking to suppliers, doing the product research, negotiating on the price, doing the images, creating the listing, and so on and so forth. It can get very dull very, very quickly. The best sort of comparison I can put to this is that imagine if you're really, really rich and you get your very first fast, luxurious sports car. You'd be really excited about it because it is something that you've never had before. However, what happens to your excitement level when you get your 10th sports car, or 15th or 10th, 20th or 50th sports car? That excitement level comes down dramatically because you're not fulfilled by that anymore. You've had it before. And that is exactly what happens with Amazon FBA. Don't expect Amazon FBA to continue making you happy each and every single day with every new product that comes in. At the end of the day, guys, it is still a job. You're still working on your financial freedom. You're still working on yourself. It is work. It's not leisure by any stretch of the imagination. Next up, safety. And this is an interesting one because people think they are much safer if you're working by yourself. You have everything, you're your own boss effectively, and you get to make all of the decisions. But the truth is, guys, Amazon can kick you off their platform at any point. Chances of that happening is actually very low, especially if you don't use any shady tactics and go against the terms and conditions. However, selling on Amazon full time, all the time, is unsafe as well. Depending on Amazon for your full income is unsafe, and which is why I'm trying myself to diversify into other areas such as property, such as stocks and shares and various other things as well, just in case Amazon falls apart or potentially I get blocked from it. I have other means of making money effectively, and that is just as unsafe effectively as having a 9 to 5, because at any moment in time one of us can get fired, lose our jobs, and start looking for a new job again, just like we did back in 2020 when COVID hit and so many people had to leave their jobs or get let go effectively because companies just couldn't afford to hold them onto them anymore. So safety aspect wise, Amazon, in my personal opinion, is just as safe or effectively unsafe as having a 9 to 5. Next up, financial freedom. We for some reason have this idea that having a 9 to 5 can never get you financial freedom, whilst working on yourself, working on Amazon, or having your own business in whatever field you choose will get you to financial freedom that much quicker. But let me ask you a question, guys. What do you think the top 100 people in Facebook Amazon, Apple, Google make. They are all, in my personal opinion, financial free, okay? They have worked their bums off. They went up the corporate ladder. They are now in successful positions, in really important positions, and therefore, in my personal opinion, they are financially free. The truth is, guys, I personally think people associate financial freedom or disassociate financial freedom with hard work. And in my personal opinion, the only difference between financial freedom with a 9-to-5 or financial freedom with working for yourself is the passion, okay? It's really hard, at least in my opinion, to be passionate about working in somebody else's business, especially if something that you're not potentially interested in. For example, when I was working in a 9-to-5 as in a recruitment company, I wasn't doing very well. And the reason why I wasn't doing very well financially was purely because I wasn't passionate about recruitment. However, my colleagues, those that were taking their jobs very seriously, that were happy in their jobs and that were really working extra hard, were making much better money than I did. That's because they were passionate about what they were doing, they were enjoying what they were doing, and they were making money in the meantime. And that's exactly what happens with Amazon. If you're passionate about what you're doing, then you will be able to be successful, and you will push hard, and you will work hard, and therefore have a much better chance of reaching financial freedom. If you're not passionate about what you're doing, whether it's Amazon or a 9-to-5, then reaching financial freedom may be quite difficult. And just to finish off with this point, I actually have a friend that works in this little company that you may have heard of, Tesla, back in 2015. And he's just a middle level manager effectively. However, in the very beginning, once he signed up, which I think he signed up on about 70,000 pounds a year, he got given shares in the company. Now, I'm not going to go into detail of how much money he's made, but just have a look at Tesla's stock price from 2015, where it is now. Needless to say, he's doing very well for himself and was able to pay off his mortgage completely in the 5-6 years that he's been working at the company. So just because you're working a 9-to-5 does not mean that you can't really benefit your financial future very quickly if you just land the right job and if you really want to put the effort in order to make that money and get financial free that much quicker. And last but not least, holidays. When you're working a 9-to-5, in most cases you have 20 days plus 8 days bank holiday. Some people have more, some people have less, but you have a limited amount of time that you can take off effectively and go on holiday. Well, whilst you're your own boss and you have your own company or selling on Amazon, whatever, you get to take holidays whenever you want. You don't have to speak to anybody whether it's possible or not. You get to choose when you go on holiday. However, guys, there is a problem. When you're working a 9-to-5 and you take a holiday, basically what happens is on the very last day, you basically go onto your emails, set out of office, and that's it. Your mind is clear. You are now in holiday mode. You do not worry about work whatsoever. But what happens when you go on holiday and you own your own Amazon FBA business? You can't send your emails and out of office. You can't get somebody else to run the business for you. You are the business. You have to run it each and every single day. And it doesn't matter whether you're on holiday or you're not on holiday. The truth is you're going to continue checking your sales. You're going to continue potentially speak to suppliers if they message you. You're going to continue answering customers' messages, and you're definitely going to do something if something goes wrong on Amazon, whether your listing gets blocked, whether your account gets blocked, whatever. Therefore, the type of holidays that you can have when you're working at 9-to-5 and the type of holidays, the quality of the holiday that you can have whilst you have your own Amazon FBA business is very different. We basically end up going from working a 9-to-5 to working on Amazon all the time. It's not Amazon full-time, it's working on Amazon full-time and all the time, okay guys? And there is a big difference with that, and you have to make sure to take that into the account when it actually comes to making a decision whether or not you want to leave your 9-to-5 and actually go into Amazon full-time. That's pretty much it for today's video, guys. I really hope you found it useful. If you did, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye bye.